Welcome to Chasing North, a podcast for purpose-driven professionals, entrepreneurs, and change makers who know that real success isn't just about status, it's about alignment. I'm your host, Christin Mack, business leader, lifelong learner, and someone who believes that the most powerful journeys are often the most personal. Here, we dive into real conversations with real people, exploring personal growth, leadership, conscious business, and the deeper motivations behind impactful success. Let's get curious together, because every path holds power and your worth is not up for debate. Hi, and thank you for joining us for Chasing North. Christin Mack, the host here, and today I am going to be chatting with Alisa Glutz. Now, Alisa and I have known each other since high school when she was Alisa Rolls. She was the student body president. She was fan-frickin-tastic, such an inspiration, and has always been someone I've looked up to and admired. I'm really excited to have this conversation with her today. Welcome, Alisa.
I love you. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I appreciate you so much.
Of course. You're welcome.
It's been a long life.
Let's start with some of the easy stuff, and then we'll go a little bit deeper. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing now. What's going on in your world right now?
Excellent question. I am in a... We've had some new information in the last couple days about the mortgage company I work for. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be some big changes happening.
Okay.
I think I am embracing change. If there was really something I was going to say right now, it'd be embracing change, because I've realized lately that change is just so inevitable. Mm-hmm. And here's the other side of it, though. Have you ever been in a place where nothing's changing and you feel like you are on an extended repeat that is driving you nuts? So nothing changes if nothing changes. And kind of coming back to that place of going, you know what, there's nothing wrong with change happening, you know? Maybe it's going to be something better. Maybe it's going to be something where it's becoming, because I'm definitely coming out of the place this last few years of reinventing, redesigning what the future looks like. Okay. My girls are graduating from high school. Mm-hmm. My book, I have a second book that's getting ready to come out, and I've just almost been purposely pausing it, just wanting to be in the right alignment for it to come out, you know?
Yeah.
And just taking in everything that's happening, but really just embracing like a new person, kind of, that I'm not new person, but I guess who I've always been. We were talking a little bit before the show about how we've gone through such an evolution. Like 32 years ago, we were on the ground, you know, planning prom, and now we're sitting here. And then even 10 years ago, we were getting an award for something and kind of living our main character era, you know, the validation. And some people would say, I'm still looking for it, but not as much. Like, there's definitely a calm in it. There's definitely a peace in not necessarily needing the validation. It's more about pushing the spotlight on other people and helping them through you to, you know, helping them become. That learning how to, like I said, embrace change, you know?
Yeah.
And realize that we got to kind of dance through it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm coming out of the TikTok era, you know, of kind of everybody going home and stuff, and still as a mortgage lender, still communicating that I don't do credit repair, that I am just a mortgage lender who is an expert in credit. But, you know, just trying to communicate the right message. And the very long story short.
No, it's great. Yeah. So I'm going to back up for just a second. Mm-hmm. So I don't do credit repair. Mm-hmm. I just know a lot about credit. And I know because I brought
my book.
I brought your book.
Right.
So I'm going to
Which was literally, I wrote Color My Credit right at the end of, I was going through a divorce. And I always make the joke that I was trying not to be a hooker, you know, but it didn't work out. But anyway,
looking for other revenue streams, and this one worked out.
Yeah. But anyways, no, actually, how it came about was I've been a lender for so long that probably at the end of 2010 was a moment of going, gosh, everybody's going to have to rebuild after this crisis. but they don't know how. Like, we weren't taught that. I'm in that generation. We were taught how to pay bills on time.
Yes.
Nobody taught us how to rebuild our credit. Nobody told us that, like literally the rules. And it was such a complicated, overwhelming, I don't understand, I don't know math feeling from everybody around me that I'm like, God, there's got to be a way to make this less complicated and less overwhelming. And that if I could just take them back to kindergarten and bring them to a place where it's not so much about repairing anything or, fixing anything, but it's more about empowering you with the stuff that you never got taught. And so that if I could just give them like a coloring key and a method and say, here's your coloring book. This is your new coloring book. It's a credit report. You're going to go through it and you're going to color each of these accounts, a certain color. So at the end, you know exactly what to do to take action. That sounds fun. That sounds like it's a game. That doesn't sound like it's something that is, out to kill my life, out to ruin my life, or it's a scam. There was just all these different ways of going about building or rebuilding or fixing your credit. But there was just so much knowledge and education that I felt was never even given to us in the first place that we have to start with.
Yeah.
To get there. And so, of course, I was like, God, how can I make credit interesting? Like, this is going to be tough, but if I put it to Jay-Z and I do a little maybe people will stay around and pay attention. And so that's what it's been this whole time, is just been like, how can I take this concept of something so boring and horrible and make it something interesting and colorful? Because it's inevitably the butterfly effect on your entire budget, which then turns into your financial legacy. And I just felt like it would be the smallest little thing I could do in the world to have an actual great impact, potentially, especially with my own daughters. If I knew credit well enough to be able to teach them, then them coming into the world and the friends that they're around, and the men, the women, whoever they're going to date, whoever it is, that they would have something to pass on to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you also start going to other states and speaking on stages,
little stages, action. A little bit. I'm
about
like you, though.
This.
I mean, because there was at the beginning when I got on TikTok was like the end of 2019, and my father-in-law had just passed, and I got divorced in 2016. 6 months after I left, my mother-in-law passed, and we were very close to his parents. And then in 2019, his father passed from an accident, so very emergency accident. And I was at the I was at a point where I was pretty darn sad. And I was really sick of being pulled in so many directions. And I was running empowerment groups and women. I had nothing left in the cup. Nothing left to give.
Yeah.
And I just was like, my daughters are on TikTok and nobody's going to see me on there. It's only kids. Like, I could just literally be my creative weirdo self. No one's going to know.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, and it worked out, and I think I did 400 videos, just so you know. I'm a little obsessive, until one finally took off. One day I did a phone call and I just said, what if I just hit record, and I acted like I was calling a collection company. And I said, hey, I have a collection from you. And I literally just spoke what people at home were like, that's what I needed. I just needed to know what to say. I have enough courage to call. I just don't know what to say when I get there.
Yeah.
And so by just calling, that one hit 1 million, Then it started just going.
1 million, where all the teenagers go and no one was going to see you.
Yeah, nobody. And I was like, here we are. Oh, you kids want to know more about this? Okay. So then I started with the dancing, and then I started, hearing the songs and going, how could we do this, and it brought out something in me that was really great. And so it blew up. I did, since 2020 now, I've done about 4,000 one-on-one consultations that people have booked where we rewrite the report. They call me, they say, hey, I have no idea what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, step one, we're going to get to the right report, right scores. Then we're going to go through and we're going to rewrite it in a way that's almost like a fantasy football roster. I mean, we're just really talking about your players, and then we're going to take them one by one and make them the best players in the whole world, And that's what's going to get you to win in the Super Bowl, And I started using cake logo, analogies and anything I felt like that could relate.
Sure.
And I felt people going, well, this is kind of fun. This doesn't feel like I'm learning about credit. I mean, I'm learning about football. I know football,
Yeah.
And suddenly when you feel inside that you're understanding something that you thought was for others and not for you. Maybe you grew up in a household where everybody's always been broke.
Yeah.
And so your belief is not for me, probably, you know? And all of a sudden you get something, you go, wait, I understand what she's saying. I know that it's not really going to help my credit score right now to go focus on all the charge-offs and collections and all that shit from the past. But what if I just looked at what I have currently on the field? And then when you start looking at that and you go, God, I don't need repair. I need to empower my players that are on the field. And then you start putting all your attention here. This stuff fades away. But now it's got something good that can drown out the bad.
Yeah.
And there's just so much metaphor and so much everything that kind of goes with that. But I do want to make one thing clear, a couple little things about that is that in my misery, like I had gotten to a point.
That is the book. She's pointing at the book for those of you that are listening.
Yeah. I'm sorry to just talk. But I was just going to say I had got to a place where I was pretty miserable. I was pretty sad. It's really hard to be in the end of a broken, marriage and things like that. And one day I was in Ross and I walked past a bunch of paintbrushes and canvases. You know how they have them on the discount aisle? I'm like, what the hell are these doing at Ross? I thought I was getting clothes. Now I got paintbrushes. So I was like Jim Carrey walking out with all the, the hat on, the paint. I'm like, we just need these. These are priorities. And I got home and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going in, I locked myself in a room. And he could just hear me with the music on, trying to paint. And I didn't know how to paint. I didn't know at all. I knew my grandma painted very secretly, So I knew I had it in me. But I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to paint. But I knew that it didn't really matter what I was going to come up with. It was going to be the journey. It was going to be what happened to me along the way. And to be honest, I don't know where that would have even come from because that was the miracle. Like literally what I became through that process of kind of, waking up my right brain. I was in such a left brain math numbers world and it was mortgages and and here's 50 stacks of credit reports to go through at night. And I'm looking at the crayons on the ground going, well, what if I just color them? That won't make it that boring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you start kind of figuring out how much you need art. You need to be able to, not art as in like I need to paint, you need to create. And a lot of people, that's what's wrong with you, is you need a moment for yourself to go create and not have an expectation at the end of it. You literally just, something happens inside you that when it's over, you're like, I got a solution now to my left brain problem that I didn't have before.
Yeah.
Because now I can think differently, But so for me, that is such a big piece of it was the break open of, gosh, what if someone gets this information and they improve their credit and they're like, wow, I didn't think I'd ever have good credit. I wonder if I could lose weight too.
Right.
I wonder if I could be a better mom. I wonder if I could. Maybe we could take a vacation to Disneyland or Europe or something one day. Maybe I could find love again. Maybe I could, and all of that, that's what starts. That's the amazingness is that once you give yourself permission to try something different, and then it just sometimes turns into this domino effect of what else can I do with my life to improve it? What else am I capable of,
Well, and I think what is beautiful about everything you just said
you and I are
is the impact. And I don't know if when you're in it, you can see it. You just said you've helped 4,000 people.
On the one-on-ones, you know what I mean?
Think about that. Think about the ripple effects that you're creating, their families, their legacies. You're helping them break a pattern. You're helping them create an impact for all of the people they touch. That reach is huge.
Right.
I hope you see that.
Well, I do, but we're all capable of that. I've always said to myself, it's always all glory to God. I'm a God believer, so I've always just said, I'm just glad He lets me ride shotgun because I get a little sick in the back, But I like sitting shotgun on this ride because I really didn't feel that much of a significant impact in what I was doing. You help people buy houses for 20 years. it's really neat to be in the process with them. But, there's the process and then at closing and you're like, yeah, and then it goes away, And for me, it was always like, can I talk to your kids? Not for the business part of it, but like, I want to be for life your lender. I want to teach you that I'm not a one transaction person.
Yes.
Like, I want to talk about what we're going to do with your kids. And they're like, I'm not even pregnant. And you're like, I'm not even married. And you're like, I know, but we got a plan for this, Like, I want to be on that journey. And so for credit, it was great because my only option as a loan officer was to send them to credit repair. In the beginning, like, I'm not kidding you, I had to run rogue. I mean, they were like, you are not to advise people on credit. You aren't taught that as a loan officer. You don't know that. You're not even allowed to give them a credit report. That was our belief for a long time.
Right.
And then I was like, yeah, but, then you go through it yourself. You climb out of that yourself, and then you do it again. Because some of us, we've had to go through it a few times in our life. And then you start to go, you know what? I'll teach this. I can teach this because who else is going to?
Well, and for you, that's first of all brave because you're going against everything that you're being told that they're telling you can't do this. That's a liability.
Yeah.
And you figured it out anyway. You're a disruptor.
Yeah. Well,
you're the Uber of credit.
And I wish I could have said but I can still remember going into the vice president of, Cherry Creek Mortgage at the time and saying, I got an idea. Don't laugh at me, okay? But I colored this credit report last night. And I remember him going, like, Alisa. Like, they already know I'm a little whack, but they're like, you're what? I'm like, no, I'm serious. This sounds like I'm playing around, but this is a sophisticated method of improving your credit. And they're like, it was always kind of and so I always say I'm like the Rodney Dangerfield of the mortgage industry because a lot of people are like, yeah, I get what she's saying, but I don't know, all the dancing and I'm not everybody's cup of tea,
That's okay.
And that's okay.
It's okay.
Because there's plenty of people that have that tea.
Yes.
And they will help you with that tea.
What is meant for us will find us.
Yeah, it will.
And what isn't,
that's okay.
And that's okay.
And it's the getting to that. It's the getting to the being okay that everybody doesn't find you amazing or hilarious or whatever. I don't know where that kind of came from early on.
Oh, sure.
I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of don't.
Perfectionism. The need to be seen. I mean, if you're not the popular kid in high school, which totally were. Well, but you were. If you're not, your parents, you're looking for their attention if you have siblings. I mean, all of that comes from a place where we don't feel seen.
Right.
And I think that both of us had that. We were performers and we were talking about this before the show, before COVID, I was a performer.
Totally.
COVID taught me that I am actually an introvert. I love being inside and staring at the wall and reading my books. People totally fine.
And they always laugh at that. Now, when you say that, I'm sure you get the same looks I do.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, sure. I'm like, no, really.
Yeah.
Really. I'm good.
When you really define it, like the way it really is, how we haven't been taught, but the way you define about where you get that energy fill back up, from it's the being alone. Then you kind of know that that's where it is. I think I'm probably more ambivert. I mean, I do love being around people.
Me too. But once I'm there, I'm great.
Right.
But it's an effort.
It's a push
to get myself in the car. It's like, oh, I really don't want to go do that. And once I get there, I have a great time. But then when I'm done, I am exhausted.
So exhausted.
Yeah.
It's the heat in Arizona. This last week, I've been pretty sick, like really sick. Thought I had COVID again. And then I got liquid IV. And I decided I'm not the best water drinker, So I drank a liquid IV in the morning and I drink a liquid IV like around 4. I can't
Maybe
even
they'll
tell
be
you.
a sponsor if we keep mentioning them. Liquid IV.
A liquid IV. But anyway, the best part is like, you really, especially if you're not a water drinker, I dare you for a week to try that. To do 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, especially in Arizona, it's such a dry heat. We don't realize how much we're sweating and dying inside, crippling inside. But I will tell you, it makes all the difference. I feel like my energy, my attitude. But going back to something you were saying, I was thinking about how much our story gets shaped when we're young.
Yes.
And I think that you and I took some early on chances potentially that worked out for us, to the point where even in our friends group, we started to be, I was 5'10" in 8th grade. So it was like, my friends were naturally like, who's the leader? Her. You know, who's the leader? Her. You know, and then my mom started going out of town every weekend, and had parties every weekend. You know, then everybody was like, where are we going this weekend? Alyssa. You know, like it was always, I started kind of shaping my story as being the one that always knew what was going to happen or was going to, even the reunion's coming in a few months. And everyone has been asking me,
what are we doing? Where are we going?
It's
like, I'm done. I did my thing. Somebody else take it.
Shay. I did find her. I'm like, Shay. Anyway, funny. That's our old friend who really went MIA. And I'm like, I will bring you back if I, But I do think it's like you have to be willing to say that's okay. That's played a good role for me. But it's not all of me.
Right.
And what if, my big question in the last few years was like, what if I'm not the leader anymore? What if I'm not the one that's guiding? What if I'm not the one in charge?
What if that?
What happens? What would happen?
What would happen? No. How do you feel about that?
I know. I've really sat on rainy days in the dark and thought about that for hours, And and obviously I've come to a point of thinking you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. And that's the alignment. That's the magic moment you come to when you're finally like, and it would be okay. And I would still be loved and accepted and it would be fine.
Yeah. I think the other piece of that too, though, is not being connected to other people.
Right.
Is life-threatening.
It is.
And so when you go into that response of what would happen, you would be okay.
Right.
But that is life-threatening. We need connection. We need community. We need each other.
Yeah.
I love my alone time, but I don't want to be alone forever.
Right.
I need connection.
Yep.
I'm not saying you have to have a partner, but it's important to have that circle of people that are your ride or die.
Yep.
You pick up the phone, they're going to show up. I mean, for example, you and I don't talk regularly.
Yeah.
But I reached out to you about this and you were like, absolutely, where do I need to be? I'll be there. Like there was no hesitation. And those are the people that I'm so grateful I have those in my life.
Me too.
Because even though we don't talk every day or regularly,
the love is there.
It's there and it continues to flow.
And I'm sure you have a group text. Do you have any group texts going on right now?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
usually I think everybody has I have a Rocky and Melissa and they're like my couple, and then I have a couple of my work loan officer friends, and stuff. But the group text, believe it or not, I mean, I think about that all the time about how I never had a group text before COVID. And then those two have gone all the way from COVID. And so I look over our last 5 years of us staying super connected, and we were each other's life preserver in a lot of ways. There were days where it was I'm sure they were please get a life. Please quit sending me memes all night. And I'm like, I know, but this one's really funny, here's another TikTok, But then I had sometimes, at least once I've written to everybody, do you sure you still like me? Do you want to be part of this group? And they've all said yes. So I'm like, okay, you can stay then, But I do think it's so wonderful to have that feeling of when I see you and I know the little version, younger version, little, because I've gotten a little bigger, but younger version of me. And you accepted me and of who I was then.
Yeah.
And you accepted me 10, 15 years ago.
I didn't accept you. I admired you, looked up to you, was like, oh my God, she's so amazing.
Oh gosh.
I want to be in student body so I can be like her.
Isn't that funny? The little things, the influences we have.
And you were always inclusive. And that was hard for me my senior year because all my friends graduated. I hung out with all of you guys.
All the time, yeah.
So when I became a senior, I was like, where are my people?
Who am I without all of that? Yeah.
They gone. So, but with the being seen thing, I have to show you. So I brought our high school yearbook, and this is not going to necessarily translate over the listening people, but I will do my best. So I have our yearbook from Alyssa's senior year, and I'm going to show you the Stugo Senate photo that we are both in. Okay?
Oh, I love it.
So it's right over there.
Oh, no,
and
I love it.
We can
oh, that's great. We'll have to show
probably.
you.
But
did I have the bangs is my question.
Yeah, you're in the front.
Okay.
I mean, of course, you're in the front.
Oh, I see you, yes.
And then do you see me? Can you find me? You need your glasses.
I go glasses now.
Because here's what I think is so funny.
Short, I'm looking
I'm in there. and it's back row.
Where?
But if you were to look at all of the names of the people in the back row,
I don't see you.
so I'm the one next to, in between Cassie and,
You are?
yeah, that's me with the bangs.
Can I go like this? Dang it.
Yeah. So that's me. But if you read the names of the people in that row, so go ahead, read the third row.
I'm getting there. I'm
Yep,
getting there.
all
I'm getting
good.
there. I'm getting there. Kelly Darling.
Yeah.
Cassie Deming.
Yeah.
Amy Weber. Oops.
Kristen isn't in there. So the whole not being seen thing, and how I'm realizing that that's one of
And
my
I still don't see her.
one of my issues. I just had to bring that because I started
funny.
hysterically laughing and ran to my husband. I'm like, look, I wasn't even seen in high school.
Who did our yearbooks? Because I have taken pictures too before. I'm like, that's not Kyle Clark. This is Kyle Clark, And then realizing they shifted all the names for the 9th graders and the 10th,
Yeah. And then if you go to the volleyball.
I think I was in yearbook anyway.
Yeah. If you go to the volleyball one, which you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up here in a minute. But you go to the volleyball one, they've spelled it Kristin. So I'm like, do we have any supervision over this thing?
Yeah.
Because that is not how you spell my name. But anyway.
I actually said this morning, Kristen Orth. I am meaning, but it was O-R-T-H.
Yeah.
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 I know. And Dockery. But I call you Miss Mary Mack. So
Love
you're
it.
Miss Mary Mack to the back.
Love it.
And what has this been for you? I mean, I'm not interviewing you anymore, but when did your hubs go to school here?
No, he grew up in Kansas. That's a whole other. We'll have you back.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation.
It's a Wizard of Oz story
So
right there. Yeah.
we're gonna wrap up.
Okay.
Where can people find you? Where do you want them to reach out to you?
Yeah.
What sort of stuff do you want to close with?
Okay.
Inspiration, whatever you like.
Okay.
It's your time.
So change is the currency of reinvention. I'm trying to be serious here. Change is the currency of reinvention. No, I want you to follow me on Color My Credit is a great resource for you. I mean, I practically put it all out there for free. If you need the guidance, you can do the one-on-one and you can book it on Color My Credit. I have a free live 1 hour from 11 to noon, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whether there's 2 people or 100 people on TikTok. I'm there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, answering questions live for people. I've done about 900 episodes. So, you asked me what I would do if nobody was watching, probably that. Because that's just a lot. That's a lot of time. But that's the best part. And that's when I really feel like I get to connect with people one-on-one and get to see kind of, how things are coming off. So that would be it. Or Glutz Group is the other thing. I am a mortgage lender. I always have to remind you of that. And I do want to work with you on your next purchase or refinance. And I'm licensed in Georgia, California, Arizona, Illinois, Texas, and Florida. So 6 states.
All right. And those Arizona deals will be coming to North Star Title.
That's right. My girl over here.
So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you did, please reach out, send me a message, like it, share it, do all the things, click all the buttons. And thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me on Chasing North. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd share the episode, leave a review, or pass it along to someone who'd be inspired. Until next time, keep chasing alignment, trust your path, and remember, your value is non-negotiable.